So in this video, I'm going to show you how to enroll in Scratch. You're going to create an account and enroll in the online Scratch class. This is just another vehicle so I can easily access your projects. I still want you to submit them in Blackboard, which I'll show you another video for that in a few moments. But this video will show you a little bit about what Scratch is all about. So if you go to course content and then the Scratch folder, there is a link called Scratch Class Link. And when you make an account, I'm asking that you use this convention with your first name underscore your ID number underscore 175. Just use your first name because some of this data will be set up so that other people can search it, and I don't really care if your last name's out there. Just use your first name, ID, and course number. So when you click on this will open up a utility for you to create another account. This is me, by the way, TechShrek. So you can go ahead and click Get Started, and it'll ask you to enter your name for a username. So you don't have to use your whole name. If you really don't feel comfortable with your whole first name, just use your first initial. That's fine too. And then you can create a password. I don't need to know what this is. Just make sure it's something you would remember. And then next step, and I can't really show you this from here, but at some point thereafter you'll get into a utility that looks very similar to this. Now I have a lot more in my project library, so you probably would just have a few things, if not anything. You might not have anything. But this is your project workspace, and when you go to create, across this top you have these options, but you want to be creating. So Scratch is essentially a two-dimensional tool to create games and programs. And it's originally designed for late elementary, middle school, or like high school students. So yes, it is on the elementary side for community college, but it's a really easy way to learn programming. Some basic programming tools. You can actually do a lot of cool stuff with Scratch. So in this class, given that it's such a short time frame, I'm just trying to introduce you to some concepts that go into specifically game design, but in game design you're going to have to know some basic programming tools. So it's kind of a way to get a crash course into what some of these things are. So you're given this default interface with the stage, that's this white area over here, and this orange guy, this cat, this orange and white cat is called the Scratch Cat. And the Scratch Cat is a sprite. You can rename the sprite. You can see down here you can right click and go to info, and you can rename the sprite. You also have some other things you can do with setting the direction the sprite will go, how it will rotate, if you want it to rotate all the way around 260 degrees or just left right. There's a lot of different things you can do with this, and you will find you may need to set some of these things. And then the big thing is you have this block. These are your programming blocks, and these blocks are under certain tabs to allow you different control of certain things. And there's a motion type of commands. There's looks, which allows you to change the looks and actually has it say something. When the say command is just a speech bubble is all that is. You can add sound, and we might do some of that. The pen tool is whereas a Scratch, whatever the sprite may be, will move around. It will actually draw things. Data is really cool, and we're going to end up using that later. You would use data to keep things like a variable for score, or maybe the sprite's health or its lives, something along those lines. Now we're getting into some programming control things with events. Those events are, this green flag clicked is a really key command in that you will use it a lot to start the program. Anything you don't want, you can just drag it back into the blocks area and it will take it off your scripts area. There's other commands here to start processes. These are events. These are things that will start some kind of process in your program. And then you can bring in some other things such as a broadcast, and that's actually sending an actual, it's like a trigger for an event. Controls, where we get into some programming can flow things. We have if statements, we have if else statements. There are loops, like a forever loop. This will happen over and over and over again. We have a repeat. So we will see these loops in other programming languages, but maybe not called the exact same thing, but it's the same structure. Sensing, you can actually do like collision detection, things like that. You can actually control sprites with where the mouse or a certain key may be. Operators, this is a logical construct area where you can add things together, you can subtract values, you can pick a random number, and you can check for conditions. If something is less than, equal to, you can even do some logical operators like and, or not. So a lot of different things you can do within the Scratch utility. Another thing I want to point out is this is a great resource here over on this side, this question mark, where you can look at different example programs that it will walk you through to make. You can make a Pong game, or there's just different activities, a catch game where you can catch things falling from the sky, and different animation tools. If you go to how to, it'll show you some different mini programs on how to, tutorials on how to walk through and do some basic concepts you would use within your programs. And then specificity on different blocks and what they're all about and what they do, and information on how they work. So this is a great resource as well that you can explore. So you will be seeing that basically what Scratch allows you to do is if I bring in a green flag clicked, and I'm just going to build a really simple program. I'm going to tell the cat I want it to repeat this 5 times, and what I want it to do is move 10 steps. The cat is facing this to the direction to the right, so you might remember that it's able to rotate, but it's going this direction 90 degrees. So 0 is up, 90 is to the right, 180 is to the down, and negative 90 is to the left. So the cat is going to move 10 steps to the direction it is facing, and it's going to move those 10 steps 5 times. So 5 times 10, 50 steps. So it's going to move 50 steps across the screen when I click the green flag. And it did that. So there's my program. Yay me. You can see that the stage has the actual dimensions of it. Go up to a y value of, an x value, sorry, of 240. Goes all the way down to negative 240. Has a y value of 180 to negative 180. So 0, 0 is in the center. This is a basic tutorial to get you introduced to how Scratch works, and we'll be using that over the course of the next few weeks.